is what's interesting. Our board met, and I had directed the board that they had to ride with me because I wanted not just me. Mm-hmm. And they were nervous. I could understand that. But there were more people than them, so I just said we would meet down at Gaston's place downtown, because I had already figured out what we were going to do. We were going to ride the buses. And they was arguing with me about, when we got down there, they were saying, "But President, I think we ought to take time to think this thing out." I said, "What's that to think out?" "Well, just need to consider." I said, "There's no consideration to me." I said, "We promised to ride, and Negroes must learn how to do what they say." I said, "Now, I tell you what, I did say that all the board members had to ride, but if any of you are nervous, there'll be at least one person riding, that would be me." And so one little light, slender fella, he said, he was crying. He said, "Well, President, we didn't come here to hear these scared folk. We come here to hear you and do what you say. God saved you to lead us, and we're ready." I said, "Well, I'm going to ride it if you ride." So then we had to put the press out because I didn't want the press to go downtown before we got there. Mm-hmm. See, I was fully cognizant if the press had been downtown with that camera, the police, we wouldn't have got to the buses. So I said to them as we went in, I said, "Now, gentlemen, I got something to say to you. So I want all the press." I said, "Now, you can't be in this meeting because we've got to discuss something." I said, "We're going to discuss when and how we're going to ride." I didn't tell them we were going to ride then. I said, "Now, but you stick around because I'm going to have an announcement that's very important." Well, we'd been enough for them to understand that something happened, and it was excited, you know, it was bombing and all this stuff too, so they didn't know. And so I took time and said to the people, I said, "Now, we're going to ride the buses today. Nobody's forced to ride." I said, "But when we ride, don't go in sitting to the back. You go in sitting from the front." I said, "No two blacks sit together. Leave space so that your white brother can sit down if he wants to. If he doesn't, let him stand, but you sit there. And nobody says a word. If somebody harasses you, you just be calm. But sit. Don't get off the bus. And if you have to be arrested, be arrested." I said, "I'm going over." My daughter was in the hospital from a fire that she had maybe the week before, 2 weeks, week and a half before. Had nothing to do with the bombing. And I went to see her, so I got on the bus and rode. But at any rate, I told them how we had to do. The purpose, this is our chance to show our courage, our tenacity, and how that we know how to conduct ourselves. So we said we're going to ride. That's another thing. Whenever black folks says Negroes, we use the word Negroes there. Whenever Negroes say something, they must show the people that they mean it. So then when we got through, I said, "Now, everybody can't ride the same bus. I don't want everybody on the bus I'm going to get on." I said, "In fact, the buses go all over town. I want you to go and spread out and go all over town." And I have over 300 people there, see. And I think my courage inspired them. And so then I called the press in and I said, "Now, gentlemen, you all want to make history?" Yeah, I said, "Well, now, I told you I'd tell you when we're going to ride." "Yeah, what, have you decided?" I said, "Well, yeah, we decided." I said, "But you have to make some promises to me before I tell you what we're going to do." I said, "Now, if you promise to go down, to be with us, don't get ahead of me. Stay back and talk to the crowd." I said, "We're going to ride today." They said, "Today?" I said, "Yeah, but don't move now." I said, "You go with us, not ahead of us. We can't get there." And this was strategy. And of course, we went and they spread out and rode all over the buses, about 300 people. And 23 of them got arrested who just liked integrating riding.